Alright, hi, hello, testing, testing. Let's try to move some stuff. Uh, it is now Tuesday. This is the first of 2 Tuesdays left that we have. Boy, am I excited. But at the same time, also really stressed out. And that's probably you guys too. Let's try to make sure that you guys can actually hear me. Alright. If anyone's here, feel free to ask any questions or anything, or just say what's up. Because I have not heard from a lot of people. This week is going to be a lot of me contacting parents if I have not heard from you in a while. So just a heads up. Anyways, let's switch on over. Hello, Natalie. Let's just go switch on over now to Google Classroom. So, as usual, you got your announcements and the Google form you fill out. This is just for me to know that you're actually checking up. And it's stuff like your period, how are you doing, what are you using to do all of this? Are you turning in assignments? And did you know that not doing the work for this grading period, even though we're in a mass pandemic, can affect your grade? Now, if I know that you've been in, say, like the hospital for like a month, or you've gone to go to a funeral or something, then obviously I'm not gonna, hurt your grade. Because I know you have like actual stuff. If your parents have lost their jobs, if there are economic problems, if whatever else is happening, and I've been told about it, if you told me about it, then it's fine. And if your parents have also confirmed that, then you're fine, whatever. But if I know, or if I have a decent idea, and that you're kind of just not doing the work because you don't feel like it, I do have to take off points for that. So please, please, please get that stuff in. It's not much. And whenever you need anything, you can just put it here. Any topics at all. And then down here, we have a weekly question that I always ask people. This week is, what do you do with your shopping cart when you're done with it at the grocery store? So when you go to Walmart or H-E-B or Kroger's or whatever, what do you do with the shopping cart? Do you put it back in the little shopping cart area? Do you just leave it in the parking spot? Do you just push it out of the way to somewhere random? I don't know. What do you do? That says a lot about you. So far, though, I've got 17 responses. So after one day, 17 responses. Not too bad. So if you haven't, please fill it in. Let's see. Then what else? All right. So yesterday as well. It's kind of the big stuff. The very last assignment was uploaded yesterday. So under classwork, the classwork tab, under week 9, the final assignment, and ignore, you guys might not see 2 of them, and like 5 of you will see like 2 of them. That's because I uploaded this one by accident, and I didn't make it so you could actually like edit it. So for the 5 of you guys who've already submitted it, that's fine. But for everyone else, though, you'll just see this one thing. So this is it. This is the final grade that I will take for the grading period for the semester. After you finish this one and everything else, you're basically done, and you can just enjoy your summer. For me, at least. You still have stuff for other teachers, maybe. I don't know. But this is the Sustainable Development Assignment. What that means is sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. It's development that doesn't hurt the planet. So, sustainable development is what happens when you're developing your country or whatever, and you're doing it in a way that is not bad for the planet. Now, what does it mean if you're doing something that's like bad for the planet? You're uh, you're building these big cities and making these really big countries, but in exchange to do that, you have to use things like oil and gas uh, and other methods that could hurt the planet. So, for example, let's look at how Europe is doing sustainable development because they're the ones that are mainly handling all of that. And I don't really plan any of this out. Like my lessons, I just kind of wing it, and I just answer any questions that you guys have. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. All right, so let's see. So at the beginning of the year, we went over examples of sustainable development in the classroom, your community, and homes. Sustainable development is not always easy because you have to satisfy society, economic needs, and the environment. So it's really hard to be able to have sustainable development because it's not always the easiest thing to do. You know, why why put more work and effort into something when you can just take the easy route and like make money or have a very strong country? And that's kind of how we've seen it as a country for like the past few hundred years. We don't really care about the environment that much, as long as it means that we can, have these big cities like Houston and New York and Chicago. And having things like laptops and cars and planes and video games. All right. Here beside the UN Development Program, this is just talking about the goals of sustainable development. It's what they're aiming for. So stuff like no poverty, no, uh, you know, uh, no risk of say not being able to afford what you need. Zero hunger. No one's hungry. No one has food insecurity. Everyone has enough food. Everyone has good health, good education, gender equality, clean water. All of these are just what people are aiming for when they talk about sustainable development. And it's not just like a one country thing. This is like multiple countries getting involved. All right. So, sustainable development goals are worldwide initiatives to help nations improve their economic and social societal status. Click on the link to learn more, and I just did for you. Hello, Kalia. How are you? So, what's your assignment? What the heck are you supposed to do in your last assignment ever for Mr. Chan's class? Just read the thing in bold. So, you will pick a region of the world and help them find sustainable solutions to their development. In 2 to 3 sentences, you're going to state the development needed and how it would benefit the environment, society, and economy. What the heck does that mean? If you're confused, what I want you to do, summed up, is you will go and pick any part of the world, anywhere that we've gone over. It can be like here in Texas, or over in Venezuela, over in Canada, Zimbabwe, Egypt, Germany, anywhere else, any continent, any place. And you're gonna figure out what they're doing and Find a sustainable solution. So you're going to tell me what do they have to do? What does that region have to do to have sustainable development? So this is switching to allow that country to continue growing and building up without hurting the planet. And hopefully benefit the environment, society, and the economy. Hey, that's a good example. Water pollution in India. A big reason why the Ganges River is polluted in India is because people dump waste and toxic materials into the river, and they think that it's no big deal because the river's God. You can't pollute God. But that's where you're wrong, buddy. So the Ganges River is polluted. So what does India have to do to develop and still grow without harming the environment, without continuously polluting the river? That's where you do research. Now, if I were to go and type in, say, so here is kind of a good example of sustainable development found over in Europe. Oh, it's a small photo. Never mind. I gotta find a better photo. Yeah, so recycling is one thing, but that doesn't stop uh, the biggest problems because of pollution. Yeah, you can recycle, but how is that going to help you towards having that bigger, cleaner country? Because that's not going to stop everything. Recycling isn't going to be the main solution to, say, pollution in the Ganges. Alright, so what are these you've seen already? We have some here in Texas. These are windmills or wind farms. Basically, they convert wind energy into electricity and power. The big thing about wind is that it's renewable. The wind is always going to be there. There's no supply of it. It's infinite. Like 1,000 years from now, in theory, we'll still have wind. But what we're not going to have 1,000 years from now probably is oil. Oil and gas. And that's kind of the main things that we are using right now. If you've noticed right now, the prices of gasoline, if you drive or if your parents drive, they're pretty low. I like that because I pay less on gas. I also pay less because I drive less. But eventually, all of that gas is going to go away because gas and oil are non-renewable. Non-renewable means that once we use it all up, it's gone. That is not sustainable. Sustainable means that it is going to last for a long time and it doesn't run out. So is polluting the Ganges River sustainable for the people? No, it's not. It's not good for the planet. That is not sustainable. You can't keep doing that. Is is staying at home forever until quarantine over sustainable? No, that's not sustainable because we have to go to work and, get food and clothes and shelter and whatever else. So if you have any questions, feel free to chime in. Wind chime in. Haha. But that's basically it for this. And it's just 2 to 3 sentences. It doesn't need to be like too detailed. It just has to answer enough. Yeah, one solution. One solution is it, but you also need to think on a bigger scale. Recycling is something, but it's not going to help towards sustainable solutions. For instance, let's say if the problem was littering, if that was the main problem, then yes, recycling would help out. Getting rid of, trash like plastics. But when it comes to, say, let's say China has a lot of pollution problems. There are factories, there are millions of cars every day producing gases and just making the entire sky like brown. Recycling is not gonna do much to that. Would you rather recycle to find a way that reduces litter in China, or would you rather figure out a solution to stop pollution altogether, to make sure that the skies are not brown for once and are actually visible? So if I were to type in like China sky, let's yeah, new tab. That's a very small photo. Oh, you get the point. Would you rather, recycle to end litter in China, but still have all of this? Or would you rather have a bigger solution to have, say, something like this up here? Sustainable has to be bigger scale than that. Let's use the home for an example. You can practice sustainable development by, instead of driving to buy groceries, you can also have a farm, like a little backyard garden to grow your own vegetables. That way you can reduce the amount of gas you use. And that's a small scale version of being sustainable. That's for you specifically. But what if we were to increase that and make it not just you, but the entire, city of Houston or the entire state of Texas? What are ways to change up how we live or how a country lives and still have it keep growing? Europe, they switch from using coal and oil and gas to wind power and solar energy and water power. And they're still doing just fine. They're still growing, but now they have a better source of power that's relatively cheaper and it's cleaner. So that's basically it. Um, so if all of these assignments, starting from, let's close this for a bit. Looking at this, so we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 assignments. I'll probably start grading week 8 later today. And then once the grades are in, I'll probably start contacting parents just to check and see if you have any issues or anything. But I would say this is probably some relatively easy stuff. If you're on level, if you're L, you're just telling me each week what are two things you've learned. But you've got to put effort into it. You can't just say, "Oh, I learned this week that China's a country." Nah, you already knew that. Don't lie to me. You have to put effort into it. With ESPN. So, talk about what do people in China do? Why do they do that? Where do they live? Why do they live there? Stuff like that. Well, you might not say stuff that simple, but people do. And I want to enforce that. I want to reiterate that I am looking for a bit of work. So I'll be here for about half an hour. If any questions, you can chime in. I am reading chat. I've got a good setup now. I can actually read the chat very well. Um, guess I can just casually put something on the Switch, so it's just having something go on while I wait for people. So I'll be here till 1 o'clock. After that, I gotta go back to grading. Uh, and if you notice, if you turn stuff in late, technically, there's no such thing as late. Those deadlines, I don't really enforce them. Because as long as you turn it in, it's in. I don't take off late points, because, like, why would you take off points for stuff being late right now during a pandemic? That's wild. If your teachers do that, tell them Mr. Tan said, that's wild. Unless you're like an AP or dual credit, then I guess that's like okay, because you're supposed to have some kind of schedule and your AP tests already happened. And so if you took your AP test already, hopefully you guys did fine. Some teachers are mean like that. I mean, I don't think any of our teachers would be that strict. It's not being mean, it's just being very strict. For the knife assignment, can I use deforestation? I mean, how would you use deforestation? You gotta explain more than that. Deforestation is not sustainable. What is a sustainable solution to deforestation that would still allow countries to develop? You can't just say, oh, stop cutting down trees, because Latin America does need those trees. Right, so if the issue is deforestation, how do they go about solving deforestation? Let's see if I can get this to work now. That is true. There's also reforestation, which is deforestation, but the opposite. So I guess we can just have some casual Amino Crossing for a while, just to wait on people. Oh yeah, I should show you guys what I was involved in for last Saturday, or this past Saturday, because I think it was pretty cool. So last Saturday was kind of a big graduation thing on like NBC and Fox and whatever else. And I was asked to help out with stuff, and record stuff for them. Because, you know, Mr. Tom's cool like that, and everyone knows me. But I did some stuff, and then on Saturday they aired it, and it was really fun. So after I go and, you know, find out what my turnips are this week, 156, that's not too bad. That's cool. You know what, that's fine. Here, let me pull it up. Because I want to brag about it, because I think it is pretty cool. Do 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 do. Let's switch on over to that. Okay, and then if I do a full screen looking thing, all right, that's fine. Yeah, so it was like this. It was this big old graduation special.
This country was forged in part by shared.
And you know, we had LeBron James hosting it.
Tonight we honor 12
and man, the
years
quality of
your
this is
hard
like
work.
bad. I don't want to go to
Studying,
1080 though.
Tests, early mornings.
Everyone knows
late
LeBron
nights.
James, and then
We can overcome this. We can overcome anything.
It wasn't
talking about people having a big graduation special, choir students singing. You know, more videos of kids. We have, I don't know, the singer. I'm really bad at singer names.
Man, they got me on the same
You got
show
Kevin
as
Hart.
J and B.O.
You know,
That's my nicknames for
Kevin Hart.
You've
That's
asked,
cool.
What can I do right now?
Years with special needs kids and was nominated by her fellow teammates. We all
This
lost
was a
out on prom and
valedictorian
proper
from
graduation.
a
We're
school.
sad
for
Oh yeah, it's, Timothy, whatever his name is. I don't know who he is, but everyone loves him apparently.
Statistics. Thank you for everything. Congratulations to the class of 2020. Be well.
Their instinct kind of just took over.
currently have the benefit
We
of
have
hindsight.
the soccer
Can't yet
player. I
look
forgot her
back,
name.
but all we
Megan
went
Megan
through
Rapinoe.
crystallized what we've learned.
She was
These
cool.
moments can feel powerless.
We have the Platt brothers. I only know Ben Platt. Ben Platt's the guy in the middle. He was in a musical called Dear Evan Hansen, or Dear, I think it was Dear Evan Hansen, something like that. I don't know. Yeah, good singers.
Senior, if you're my high school,
We got some high schoolers. We got Bad Bunny. He talks about stuff. We have, oh my gosh, I forgot her name. Alicia Keys, that's it. And then after Alicia Keys, you know, we have a thing.
Hello, graduates. I'm Kumail Nanjiani. Thanks for inviting me to your island. It's the first time I've worn pants in weeks. I'm lying, I'm not wearing any pants under this robe. Anyway, recently I've learned a lot of important life lessons from Animal Crossing. Lessons like try new things, water your plants, learn from those who don't look like you. Thank you, Mom, she's done a lot. And most importantly, use what the world puts in front of you, especially sticks. Sticks are important. Congrats, class of 2020. See you out there. Can't wait to see what you create in our world.
Yeah, that was a cool thing.
Hi, I'm Olivia Wilde.
I got to have Kumail. Oh man, I'm bad at pronouncing his last name though, but he's pretty well known. He has a show with his wife called The Big Sick, and he played Prismo in Adventure Time. That's kind of how I know him. Yeah, it was cool and fun. Yeah, so if you go back to that, yeah, so this was the whole setup I had with Kumail and them. So basically we just like spent a few hours recording over a weekend and like filming a graduation thing. It was fun. It's definitely a cool thing to do. I was also on Snapchat apparently, because I had one of the students emailed me saying, "Mr. Tan, I saw you on Snapchat." And it was like some interview that I did a while back, and that was cool. Anyways, I will just be here waiting for you guys to have any questions you want to ask or anything. Talk to Chrissy. It's a great day today. Totally is a great day looking outside. It's sunny. You know, it's the middle of May. I'm gonna catch this butterfly, 'cause I don't know if I have it yet. Alright, I already do have it. That's fine too. Well, that's basically it for Animal Crossing. I don't really play much anymore. Just being too busy. But it's fun once in a while to drop in. Let's see, one thing I have, I guess, been doing besides that would be, I don't know. Cool. I've been playing some Hatsune Miku Project Diva Mega Mix. That's a game. Oh, by the way, Edgenuity was down like all of yesterday, and that kind of sucked. But for the most part, you don't really need Edgenuity. It's kind of the best way to get a lot of that info. But if you can't use Edgenuity, there's always the packets, and also there's Google. What have I been doing? Not much. So if Edgenuity isn't possible, you can always just Google. Like, I give a list of the topics and themes per week for the assignments. You can just type that in, research it on your own time, in your own way. But you can't just copy and paste from a site. If you go to Wikipedia and you just look up China and just copy and paste from there, that doesn't count. I'm not giving you points. You have to actually learn something. You have to put it in your own words and explain. But if you just copy and paste, it's very obvious, and I can tell because you use words that not even I would use in an academic paper. Or you use like semicolons. No one uses semicolons. Like, your English teacher tries really hard to teach you what a semicolon is and how to use it, but realistically, you're not going to use it. So this is a rhythm game. I love rhythm games. It's just pressing buttons to like the beat of the music, and I think that's really fun. And also, I like Vocaloid. It's like a Japanese program, and it's like a programmed voice that sings and stuff. You use semicolons when I do work. Yeah, semicolons are a lot more specific. It's to connect two different ideas together, and most people use them wrong. You're better off. I usually just write down two sentences, or I use commas and like whatever. Let's try this. I like this song. Yeah. So if you use semicolons right, I can kind of assume that you actually could just copy it and paste it everything. Because I've not once seen someone use a semicolon correctly. For my assignments, at least. If you want to learn, though, go ahead. I mean, it might be fun to learn how to use a semicolon. So I'm actually super bad at this game. Because it involves pressing a lot of buttons real fast. Oh, let's just restart that. Oh man, I was not ready for that. Oh, I realized what's up. I'm listening to a delayed. I'm listening through this through my laptop, and it's delayed like a few seconds. Let me try to fix that. Because I press to the beat, and the beat is off by like a split second, so everything's wrong. Yeah, I'm not good either, but I just love them anyways. That's kind of a bad thing then, if you're bad at a game that you play a lot. I mean, it's fine. How do you determine if you're good or bad at a game? I don't know. Let's try this. Why not? I think my settings are fixed. Maybe. Maybe I shouldn't play on a stream because it delays my audio. Oh. So bad is this? The worst part is having to do with 2 notes at one time. So I just can't process that. Oh man, that was bad. Anyways, it's fine. You've been reading too many SCP things. Oh man, SCPs take me back. Those are fun to read because there's so many, and they make like games based off of them too. SCPs are like stands for secure, contain, and I think protect. It's a bunch of like just like made up stories about monsters and info about them, and it's really interesting. There's a game called Control for like the PC and PS4, I think, and it's really fun, and it's kind of based off of SCPs. It's like, for example, I can actually pull one up. Let's see, SCP Foundation. What's a good random one that I know of? Alright, so if I switch on to this, SCP Foundation, Secure, Contain, Protect. So here's SCP-504. SCP-504 is a safe classified object, so safe meaning that it's pretty harmless for the most part. They have like other classifications depending on how dangerous it actually is. So SCP is a bunch of seeds or plants or whatever. They look like tomatoes sometimes, basically. And they look exactly like tomatoes. There's nothing different about them in terms of looks. But the thing about it is when a poor attempt at humor is made verbally within human hearing range of SCP-504's tomatoes, they instantly accelerate to a speed of at least 100 miles per hour. Approximately 160 kilometers per hour, blah, 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 blah. Let's sort of move this over like this. There we go. So basically, they are a bunch of tomatoes that are normal tomatoes until you make a bad joke. If you make a bad joke, the tomatoes will fire at the joke. Kind of like how when you see like a comedy show and someone does a really bad joke and they get tomatoes thrown at them. It's kind of like that. But the tomatoes are its own thing. So they do a bunch of tests with the SCP-504. Is a hippopotamus or just a really cool opotamus? And like, it's an okay joke, so there's nothing that happens. What's an archaeologist? Someone whose career is in ruins. And it's really bad. And so the tomato flies at the guy at 124 miles per hour, and he has a broken nose because of that. Three tomatoes are walking down the street. A papa tomato, a mama tomato, and a little baby tomato. Baby tomato starts lagging behind. Papa tomato gets angry, goes over to the baby tomato and smooshes him, and says, "Catch up." Tomato clocks at 264 miles per hour, and then the subject is unconscious because of that. Get it? Because tomato. Catch up. Yeah. So I was going to bed, and my brother told me, "Good night. Don't let the bed bugs stick their proboscis in your skin and suck your blood. Good luck on a healthy dermis." And then apparently the joke is so bad that the tomato goes so fast that the sound barrier is broken and the subject is killed. If you have dentures, don't use artificial sweeteners because you'll get a fake cavity. And then the tomatoes all fly and they break their teeth. And it's kind of funny. I tried to walk into Target, but I missed. And then the tomatoes fly at the guy because that was a bad joke. A CD player starts playing a comedy show by Dane Cook. And then the tomatoes fly at the CD player and destroys it. Okay, so a bomb blows a hole inside of a Lenin statue. Lenin is a Russian guy. If you take world history, you'll learn more about him. That's gonna leave for Marx. Also, is a German philosopher. Tomato twitched a bit. It was like, that's a fine joke. BBC is just stalling the good news. That was a bad joke. Tomato flies at him. That blows. Guy gets damage. Let's see. The tomato gets to listen to a TV playing an SNL skit with Sarah Palin and Hillary Clinton, and the tomato acts confused. And then it's like the Tomatoes was unsure if it should take it seriously or not. 2009 is going to be a very complex year. We already know that. We already know the real part. We just have to find the imaginary part, and that's like an engineering joke. And the Tomato was like, no. Tomato was like, you just blow up the computer. The play is audio from a Monty Python sketch. Monty Python is really funny. It's like a bunch of British guys doing skits, and I recommend you guys watch them on your own time. Wenn es das nun geht und so einmal ja behind und das oder the Flipper Vault gesport. I don't know if they did a skit in German, but I don't know. Tomato explodes. Blah 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 blah. And then audio played from another SCP. If you go to that, and then that's how you end up going through a bunch of reading for a while, and you just go through it for hours on end, and then you realize that you've been reading these nonstop. So SCPs are cool. Anyways, back to all of this. Let's move that back. Okay, there we go. So again, if you have any questions, I am here for another 8 minutes. Just having office hours around, waiting for people. That's how I be. Is reforestation planting plants and trees? Yes. Reforestation is exactly that. You're basically... Same thing. Deforestation is getting rid of a forest. You're deforesting. Reforesting is you're putting it all back. You're growing the forest back. And a forest is more than just trees. It's plants and everything else too. Oh no, what's a song? What is a song that I enjoy? I don't know. I like this one. And tomorrow I might not have a meeting. If I do, it'll be at 1 o'clock because I will be at Side Lakes kind of cleaning up, returning books and laptops and stuff. Oh, that was a bad start. Let's try to redo that. Sophocles is pretty popular in Japanese culture. Oh man, I'm so bad at big notes. Alright, awesome. If you finish that, then you're basically done with the entire school year for me. Just make sure that you have everything turned in. So it would be from week 4 to week 9, which is this week. And then you're basically done, and I should have everything graded by next week at the latest. If you're a senior, I'll have grades in senior, because seniors have to have their grades in by Friday. But everyone else is going to take a while. And looking at how many people have turned in, we've got about 16 submissions already. So that's really cool. If you're a senior, I mean, you enjoy high school while you can. Right now, being a senior might not be the best thing. I'm just gonna do some very casual games, or we just wait. Play some Mario Brothers. Playing on easy mode, because that way I can read the chat and play at the same time without having to focus on anything. And easy mode is also fun. So these are all levels made by like people, actual people. And if it's easy, that means that it's easy. Wow, look at that. I'm already done. Wasn't that easy? And so you just keep going till you run out of lives. But if you notice, it's super easy. So I'm probably not gonna run out of lives. Unless it's a Japanese level. I don't know, maybe. Japanese levels tend to be a little bit harder, because they're made by people who actually know how to make levels sometimes. Oh, I see. I see the point. They don't want me to. Oh, maybe this is just really bad level design. You know what? I spoke way too soon. This is not the best level design. So I guess the point is you have to get rid of you can't be big. But to get rid of being big, you gotta get hit a few times. And it's not too intuitive. Like, yeah, it's easy, but it's also not fun. What is my favorite Mario game? Probably Super Mario Galaxy on the Nintendo Wii is my favorite. Ooh. Just knocked over my mic for a second. Yeah, you know, Mario Galaxy is a solid game, and I've had a lot of fun with it when I was younger. And this level is all 1-ups. then like a little hop right here that I might mess up. Or not. See? Easy level. Bam. Anyways, I'll do one more level, just to give you guys to have time to answer any questions, or to ask any questions, then I'll call it a day, so I can get on with grading and doing everything else. I'll be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock, hopefully, if I make it back in time. If not, then I'll just tell you guys. Yeah, both Mario Galaxy games are good. I've been doing okay. I feel like you've asked that like a lot today, but the answer still stays the same. Doing okay. I guess this level wanted me to grab a spring, and so I did. And that is it. So, maybe I'll see you guys tomorrow, maybe not, but you know, it's no big deal. Remember to take care, make good choices, drink lots of water, eat your veggies, wash your hands, take a walk, get some sunlight, you know, get some vitamin D. And I'll see you guys then. And also, yeah, don't do drugs, that's also a thing. So, bye.